guys, it's Brandon.
And this is Sabrina, and welcome to the Someone Called BS podcast, where we discuss navigating marriage, entrepreneurship, and owning our own businesses while also trying to do this thing called life together. Thanks for joining us here and listening to our literal BS.
Oh, you're going to need to edit that out.
Ugh, come on.
Trick two. Is there a trick to make it run a lot better, but for the cheaper?
Seriously, don't say it like that.
Let's get it.
Hello?
Yo, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
It's been a minute, so I have to make sure our equipment is working.
Equipment's working perfectly because I hooked it up, so.
And you have some, what are you wearing today? Show or tell our audience if they can't see.
Blenders. This is the Max Verstappen.
Are they sponsoring you yet?
Not yet, but keep trying. Keep trying. They actually have another pair that they released this week that I'm on the pre-order for the Las Vegas race. That's racing in Las Vegas this weekend.
That race is going to be so dumb.
It's going to be sick.
I'm so glad we did not spend the money to do that.
I'm so pissed off that she wouldn't let me spend the money to do that.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a letdown. Not to mention the race time is at 12 a.m. on Sunday, which is technically 12 a.m. Monday.
Well, it's 10 p.m. in Las Vegas, but here in Central Time, it's we're 2 hours ahead. But
why wouldn't they make the race at like 8 p.m. like normal?
Well,
so a normal person can watch on a Sunday night?
Because I think they're trying to appeal to the masses, which a majority of the F1 fans are in Europe. So,
well,
for me, who I'm a diehard fan, typically I already have to get up at like 2 and 3 a.m. sometimes to watch practices. So I'm like, when they come to America, I'm usually pretty excited because I'm like, oh, hey, semi-normal weekend for me. But in Vegas, nope. It's like, I think so practice actually starts on Thursday, technically, because it starts so late. And then qualifying is like at 3 a.m. on Friday. It's just a hot mess. But it's going to be cool nonetheless to see the F1 cars going down the strip. I think it's going to be pretty insane. So maybe let them work the kinks out this year, and maybe we'll go next year.
Yeah. Well, we are back for our episode number 5. Sorry, we did not post last week. I had a lot more people than I thought missed us last week, so that's very nice. And
yeah, that was actually a test and a lesson.
I'm sorry we failed you guys already, but we are back. We had a pretty awful week.
Not a failure, because we could have just been like, whatever, we missed it. Like, let's just stop altogether. But no.
Yeah.
Here we are, and we're pre-shooting this one so we don't miss it. And we didn't really feel like shooting one today. But here we are. So this is a good lesson for you guys that are out there, entrepreneurs, young business owners, hustlers, grinders. So you got to do it even when you don't really feel like doing it. So, and
yeah,
that's a good business lesson to remember. You got to go in and give 110% even when you don't feel like it.
Or even when you feel like you've failed at something.
It's only failing if you just completely quit. And as long as you don't do that, setbacks are okay. That's all right. You'll have those.
Yeah, so
you'll have that on these big jobs.
We figured this week we would just talk about our shit week. And maybe some of you guys can relate because it's just been a nightmare. I don't know what's going on, but I think it started with our washer and dryer machine going out.
First off, Mercury's in retrograde.
You're like into astrology and stuff?
No, but I've heard.
Well, I thought you didn't believe in that. I always would say it. And look at Milton. He's humping the air.
Stop with the humping, pal.
Anyway, it started with our dryer taking a shit at the most inconvenient of times. So we had to order a new washer and dryer set, and then our dog Monty, our little Frenchie, started having seizures. So, I'm multitasking. This is live. I am going to stop my timer. Why don't you tell them about Monty having seizures while I get the stuff out of the oven?
Okay. So, Monty, we've been dealing with him randomly having seizures, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with that. We're not really too sure yet, honestly, because of course, just like sometimes whenever people bring us their vehicle, we're like, man, we've driven it, several times, several ignition key cycles, and we can't get it to act up. That's kind of how it is when you go to the doctor, you take your dog to the vet or your cat to the vet. Like, they don't know what's wrong with him. He's good. His blood work's good. A couple $1,000s later, they're like, oh no, he's a healthy dog. But yeah, he's having these like horrifying seizures. So he's had 5 total.
Did you just compare Monty to an automotive repair?
Yeah, that's what our podcast is about, like talking about how it relates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, proceed.
So we don't really know what's going on with him per se. He is on medication now, and he does seem to be doing better, but definitely pretty scary. I never have seen a dog have a seizure, and he had 3.
In like a span of an hour.
Hour and a half. So It was like almost every 30 minutes he was having one. He had one like dead in his sleep. He had one running around playing with Milton, because the Frenchies, they go to the shop with me because they're small enough to transport. And it gets him out of our dog nanny's hair, because we've got a dog nanny that comes for our 2 big dogs.
Shout out Joanne.
She comes in.
She's basically our like
extended mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a fairy godmother.
Yeah, she really is like a fairy godmother.
Yeah.
She's magical and wonderful. But yeah, she's a lifesaver.
Yeah. But anyway, that's been pretty scary with Monty.
Yeah.
So I wish I had more news to give you, but that's kind of about the news we got. As we spent a couple G notes, and they were like, "Yeah, no, he's pretty good."
He goes to the neurologist this week. I made a neurologist appointment. Our vet is wonderful and amazing, and I always want him to be under her care, but she also agreed that we should definitely try to figure out what's going on, and so the neurologist can do other tests that she doesn't have the capability to do. So we're doing that. But on top of Monty, our dog Maximus has been very, very sick. He has a disease, and I always forget the medical term for the disease, but it's essentially where like
chronic diarrhea.
Well, basically he's like suffering with dysentery right now, and it's really sad.
Yeah, he's having a really bad flare up for the past like week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
So like 2 years ago, we discovered this illness that he has. He was officially diagnosed. And I love our vet because she completely saved his life. If he would have been under the care of like a vet that didn't seek or wasn't willing to seek alternative or holistic ways to try to save his life, he would definitely be dead by now.
Yeah. I mean,
so
basically the disease is he does not absorb nutrients correctly.
Yeah.
So his food has to be cooked. It's like a very strict, very bland diet because his stomach's super sensitive.
Low fat, super lean protein. So Joanne, our dog nanny, she literally comes over every single day, like during the week when we aren't home, and she watches them, she walks them, she cooks for him. She basically is like his mother when I'm not around. So
yeah. And I mean, we have to pump him full of like, he's got these 4 Marvels tablets, and
it's like Chinese medicine.
He's got like collagen powder and just all sorts of stuff we have to put in his food to substitute nutrients that he can't normally absorb from food itself. So
yeah,
we've been doing that for 2 years, and yeah, he's having a real bad flare up and is just kind of like rejecting food right now. So on top of Monty having seizures, we had the washer dryer on the fritz. Max has been really sick, and we're like, what do we do? Obviously we love our animals very much. That's like our children, to us. And if anybody actually knows us in real life, I will literally go bankrupt trying to save any of our animals if they're in need. So we're like, what do we do? Do we keep letting him live and suffer? Like, we've been able to enjoy this additional 2 years with him because of going the holistic route and doing this, but now it's like we don't know if he's just having a flare up and it's going to pass. But like, he's really, really skinny right now. He's dropped probably 10 pounds, 15 pounds within a week and a half. So we got to take him to the vet this week as well.
Yeah. It's just been a time. He's been, like, for the past 2 years, it's been great. Like, he almost died, and then luckily our vet found alternatives that essentially saved his life, and we've been given 2 more years with him, and he's 10 now, so that's pretty old for a Mastiff. So it's just hard watching him kind of decline and not really be able to do much. I have a feeling that this is kind of the end of his life, whether that's a few months or, a few weeks or whatever that looks like, but that's been hard. So it's just been a really crappy week, I feel like.
On top of that, work's been crazy for the both of us. Her job's been nuts. The shop has been nuts. Coming into Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's like my favorite time of the year, but also it is my favorite holidays to hate because we never are slow at the shop, but it always declines in this time of year because, for obvious reasons, especially right now, as expensive as everything is. Like, vehicle repair is on the back of everybody's mind, at least until the week of Thanksgiving. And then we have like 152 people that call us the week of Thanksgiving and are like, oh yeah, shit, I've got to go out of town to Grandma Junjun's, and all I need is just a complete frame off restoration, and I need it done cheaply, and I need it done within 2 days because we leave in 2 days. So yeah, just been a little hectic with that. So, and then on top of that, we are doing Thanksgiving in Montana this year. So
it's a Friendsgiving.
Yeah. So
we're excited. It's just always like it's tough traveling for sure when you own a business and everything.
Typically, that's why we do it. That's why we travel over the holidays, because that's the easiest time for us to get away because we're closed for Thanksgiving anyway. So it's one of those things. Like right now, my family is kind of doing their own thing. My mom lives in Florida. My sister lives in Florida. Her husband, my niece, my nephew, my brother, he lives in Austin, and he just got married. And they're kind of doing their own thing. So everybody's kind of doing their own thing this year. So we were like, all right, well, we haven't really had a vacation all year. So we're going to go to Montana, like a quick Airbnb trip. And then we decided to extend the invitation to any of our employees that wanted to go. And we actually have a couple guys and their spouses from the shop coming with us. So
yeah,
that's cool. We're excited.
It'll be fun.
We're making it a Friendsgiving. We got a pretty sick little Airbnb.
It's a chalet.
Yeah, it's a chalet. Of course, the one I picked out was not good enough. So it's a 5-star chalet with like floor to ceiling windows, and it's in Big Sky. So you can imagine it's not cheap. But the good news is, since we are taking employees, take notes, people, that is a write-off. It would be a write-off even if me and her were just going, but especially since we're taking other employees, whole trip, writing it off. The travel, the food, everything, write it all off. So yeah. I am happy about that.
That makes Brandon happy.
But yeah, it's been crazy. And then we just have it's going to be balls to the wall to the end of the year, because there's that. And then the following week when we get back, we've got the Turkey Drag Show up around the Dallas area, which we're sponsoring. So we've got to take the Ultimate, my C10, the tent, our shirts, set up our stuff for the weekend.
Yeah.
We've got that, and then the weekend after that, we've got our Christmas party. So
Our F-bomb Christmas party.
Our F-bomb Christmas party, and then the weekend after that, we've got her Reliance retirement Christmas party.
It's wealth management.
Oh, wealth management.
Yeah,
Get it straight.
We had a name change like a year ago, and Brandon still calls the company by its old name, but that's okay. But yeah, it's just been a wild few weeks, and it will be a wild holiday season for us, I feel like. But
I feel like for everybody, it's a wild holiday season. Honestly, that's why we wanted to hop on here, because I think a lot of you will relate to this. It's like Christmas and Thanksgiving, everybody gets amped up for it, but at the same time, it weighs kind of heavy on you because you're like, oh my God, I have all this crap to do. So it's somewhat stressful, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely stressful. I feel like, I don't know if y'all can relate, depending on your business, because I know we have like friends that own a propane business. I think they're probably maybe they're more busy in the winter season because it's cold. But like for us, automotive repair and like performance work, that's kind of, I mean, you have to repair your vehicles, but a lot of people feel like they can kind of push that off.
Oh, for sure.
So especially during the holidays, like we're probably a little slower than usual, and that drives Brandon crazy. Like he literally is a living, waking nightmare for me on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not used to that. Like, I'm used to being so busy that I don't have time to myself. So when I do, I don't.
So when he does, he's grouchy.
I don't know how to relax is my problem. Like, even when I'm on vacation or anything, I'm always thinking about the business or plotting. Or
I told you that we were literally going to like spend our Thanksgiving Day, we're all going to like be in jammies and we're going to cook and we're just going to hang out. And Brandon was like, well, that sounds boring.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds so fun and like relaxing and nice. Like yeah, we are. That's what we're doing.
Early. I'm gonna.
That's fine.
Watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I want to have a hot cocoa loaded with some bourbon of my choosing.
What is so annoying about you? You know what really pissed me off this week?
What?
Literally, I'm telling him about Thanksgiving. We're at the store, like buying food so I can cook for him on the weekend. And I'm like, oh, like tonight I'm making meatloaf and these Brussels sprouts au gratin. And I was going to make mashed potatoes, but I'm not because I'm too tired. So you get Brussels sprouts and meatloaf for dinner. But I was telling him all this and he's like, oh, you know what would go good with the meatloaf? Mushrooms. Everything, every single thing that he says, like, if I say I'm making something, that's what he says. He's like, you know what would go good with that? Mushrooms. I'm like, I don't want mushrooms, number one. Number two, you can't just add mushrooms to anything. Like, they have a lot of liquid. So, like, you have to either buy dehydrated mushrooms. Like, I can't add mushrooms to meatloaf unless I cook them first and then I add them to the meatloaf and then I cook the meatloaf because like they have so much water. Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead. You were interrupting me.
No, to be fair, I figured with our newly renovated HEB, our HEB just had this big giant renovation. I figured they would have dehydrated.
He doesn't know that I would need dehydrated mushrooms. You do that every time. Every time I plan a meal, you're like, oh, mushrooms. Like, that would be good. Mushrooms would be good in that. I'll be like, enchiladas. You're like, oh, we can add mushrooms.
I've never said that about enchiladas. But yeah, a lot of stuff.
Well, and the annoyance with the mushrooms is that literally when I first met you, you hated mushrooms.
I didn't hate them. I never had really eaten them
But before, you claimed you hated them.
Because my mom is allergic to them. So I never really had them.
So
I didn't know.
Brandon is like the most annoying. So back to Thanksgiving, he's like, oh, I want to wake up early. And I told him like, that's fine. We'll watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Like me and the girls are going to cook and we're going to have a good time. We're going to make mimosas. And he's like, well, I want biscuits and gravy for breakfast.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm like, well, who do you think is going to make the biscuits and gravy? Not you.
No, not me, definitely. I am the designated cocktail manager.
Well,
for the
so
weekend.
then who do you think is going to make the biscuits and gravy?
I don't know. Probably Matt.
What?
Matt is a pretty good cook. I feel like he can make a mean biscuits and gravy. Like, it doesn't have to be homemade biscuits. Like, I'm sure we can buy some biscuits and just.
Anyway, he's just very needy when it comes to like food or any sort of activity.
I'm a medium husky guy.
Yeah, but you're just very demanding about it. Like, it gets on my nerves. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not meant to be a wife because I'm like, if you want that, then you can make it.
Well, she's very used to our fairy godmother, who also cooks our meals, so she's not used to having to cook. She hasn't cooked for 52 years.
No, that's not true. I cook on the weekends all the time.
All the time.
But JoJo does spoil us with food during the week because she was already cooking.
Well, she cooks, but yeah, I'm just too tired to make those potatoes. Fuck that. That's off the list.
I am too tired to make potatoes. I do. I am making Brussels sprouts au gratin, which I'm super excited about because it's like you get leeks, shaved Brussels sprouts, you get Gruyere cheese, heavy cream, Parmesan cheese. You make this cheese sauce to put the Brussels sprouts and leeks in, and then you bake it, and then you top it with like breadcrumbs, and it's going to be really good. So it's not like I'm just serving you Brussels sprouts. I have slaved away making this.
I've slaved away making these cocktails.
Well, I'm just saying.
Apple smoked.
Yes, he made
ginger whiskey cider. So you get some apple cider, and I've got some, I think the brand is Misunderstood, ginger spiced whiskey. So you put like a double shot of that in there. Then you take your smoker, give it a little smoke. I used apple chips for this particular concoction. And let it rip. 2 cubes of ice, blend it up, and it is delicious. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
That is my contribution. I am a designated cocktail master.
Well,
so I'll make everybody cocktails.
That's fine. And let me guess, you want mushrooms in the gravy? The sausage gravy. Mushrooms?
No.
No?
No, not for like a breakfast.
Oh. So you don't believe mushrooms are like a breakfast food?
No, they could be, but like, just a nice hearty like sausage gravy.
Okay, we'll get on that. Well, maybe now Matthew will know. We'll see if he listens to this podcast.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe you might want to tell Alyssa tomorrow at the office.
Yeah, and then she was trying to get out of making, every year she makes pecan pie.
Oh my God. Yes, that was the other thing that pissed me off. I
was like, so what are we doing for dessert? She was like, oh, well, Ashley's going to make cookies. And I'm like, yeah, but what about
I'm like,
how am I supposed to have
bitch, do I have time to cook?
Yep, because obviously we're staying home all day and we're going to cook and have mimosas. So yeah, you got time.
I just want to relax.
You got time.
I'm making, my contribution is going to be green bean casserole, Brussels sprouts au gratin, and now I guess the bourbon pecan pie.
Bourbon pecan pie, it's a hit. You've never had one?
And corn casserole. I forgot that one. If y'all have never had the Paula Deen. No, I'm obsessed. Like 2 years ago, one of my friends told me about this corn casserole that Paula Deen makes. She brought it over to our house, and literally I'm obsessed with it. I eat it every year now. It's amazing. It's like butter and cornbread. Like,
it's whack.
It's so good. Look up the recipe. It's the easiest thing in the world to make, and it's delicious.
So it's easy. Good. So we've decided you've got time to make pecan pie. Settled.
A pecan pie is not easy to make homemade.
I know, but the corn is, so you've got time. Thank you. Moving on now. What else?
I don't know. What other content would you like to bring to the show?
Listen, so here's the other thing that a lot of people don't think about. I guess it depends on the business owner. If I was an absolute shit show dickwad of a business owner, which some would say I'm an a-hole, but those of you who actually know me know that I'm not.
Well, I don't know that that's true.
I don't know that's true.
We know that there's more than one side to you, and
So,
an asshole is only one of them.
I am small business owners. there are some out there that at the end of the year, they're looking at their numbers and they're like, absolutely sick, look at this profit. And they're cutting themselves a big fat check, which, hey, rightfully so, man. You have that opportunity, you know? Like, you're the one bearing all the financial risk and could crash and burn tomorrow. Everybody else could just go get another job. So that is your right. I see it a little bit differently. We're obviously in the service industry, so we provide a service. I think our service is very valuable, or at least I like to think that. Where was I going? Oh, so like with that being said, you got to take care of your people. So come Christmas time, it's a very expensive time because I ball out. Like, I should not even ball out the way that we do because we're so new to owning a business. Everybody always tells me that. They're like, what the hell are you doing? I took this idea from Sabrina's boss, who's a for real multimillionaire, like legitimately. And I implement it, and I am not a millionaire, but I still do it. So at the end of the year, we use our credit card points and we get hotel rooms, pretty bougie ones usually, because Sabrina doesn't stay at anything. If it's not 4.5 stars, she ain't staying there.
Well, I just don't like dirty places.
So I get all of our employees' hotel rooms. We go out to dinner. It's a nice dinner, like somewhere I consider nice. There's no limit. Whatever they want, get it. Like, it's going on the company credit card. I don't care. If the dinner's $2,500, I don't care.
Remember that, guys, when we all spend a shit ton of money.
Oh, we're going to True Lux this year. If you've never been to True Lux, like in Austin, they've got them in Dallas, they've got them in Houston. That place is baller. So, yeah, highly recommend it. But we're going there. So it's like hotel rooms, fancy dinner. Mm-hmm. We always go to a bar.
Yeah, we're going to a little speakeasy on 6th Street this year.
Same thing. Run that tab up. I don't care. And then there's Christmas bonuses, which I pay in cash. I never enjoyed getting a Christmas bonus when I worked at the dealer, and I open up the Christmas bonus and half of it is gone because of taxes, because of the tax bracket I was in. I was like, what the hell? I did not feel appreciated by that. So, I give our guys cash because they get the full bonus that way. So there's that. And then I always like to do gifts too. And this year I have decided not to do like
physical gifts.
A physical gift. I am gifting an experience, which I can't say because it's a surprise, but it's going to be sick. So like all in all, that's 15 grand easy, maybe more. Depending upon how much of a tab we run up.
But I feel like if you budget, if you know ahead of time that you want to do something for your staff, you just budget. Like we start budgeting for it, right away.
Yeah.
And just because, we are a small business. We can't really on a whim just afford to like blow 15 grand. So we just budget and then we plan to use points and stuff like that. Obviously if you're like a newer business and you're just starting out and you can't do things like that, that's fine. I just think that you can do something to show appreciation to your employees.
For sure. I did it right away. Like I took out of my own pocket right away our very first year. I even had somebody come to our Christmas party and literally they quit the next week. They were like, oh yeah, that was a sick Christmas party, man. Never had that cool ass shit, and then quit the next week.
Well, yeah. Or we've actually had employees that start like there was one person that I'm thinking of in particular that his first day was going to be like January 1 or something. And so we actually invited him to our Christmas party just to show him,
like he's part of the team.
Yeah. So I just think it's good to do things like that for your staff. It gives them a level of appreciation and also shows that you really care about them. And if they know that you really care about them, they're going to perform better, in my opinion.
Also, too, it creates we're not just employees. We're friends with each other outside of work. So,
yeah, we're literally going on a Friendsgiving trip with them.
When you have that kind of mesh within your team, it's a lot different.
But you also like one of the things we've had to work on really well is like very clear communication with them, because I feel like it can get fuzzy like if you start integrating like work and family. But I think as long as you're clear on expectations, like what you've talked about before, like it works really well for us. So I'm excited. It'll be fun.
I'm excited too. I'm really, really excited because this experience is going to be, I think it's going to blow their mind. Like they're going to freak out. But still, it's stressful. Even though we do budget for it, like it's still stressful. Like that's a chunk of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I was saying, whenever you do stuff like that, it shows within the work that we do. Like we'll be having by the time you see this, the meeting will have already happened, but we're having a meeting tomorrow because we are, technically we're Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. And the guys have Friday off, and me and Makoa go in and we invoice, do estimates, make phone calls.
We also have a girl working now with us, so we can't just say guys.
Yeah.
The team.
Mm-hmm. So typically that's our schedule, but we're going to have a meeting tomorrow because we've got a busy ass week, and I have certain jobs that I want to make sure go out before we have to leave. So they may have to work Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll basically outline what I expect to be done tomorrow and just tell them, hey, look, as long as this stuff's done before Thursday, I don't care. You can still have Friday off. But if it's not, those of us who are planning to go to Montana next week probably should come in Friday and make sure we get everything done. That way it's not a mad scramble Monday, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll happily do stuff like that. Like my guys oftentimes are not leaving until 7:45, 8 o'clock. Because it's not like they start wrapping up at 6 to leave at 7. They work up until 7. And then it's like, put your tools away, clean your stuff up, clean your area up, shut the doors, pull everything around, lock the gates. So
yeah,
they really go over the top to make sure that our customers get the full wow factor that F-Bomb has to offer. So, I like to say thanks, and Christmas is my way to do that, but also it is super stressful. But
yeah,
it is what it is. That's what you sign up for when you run a business. So let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like it's stressful for everybody around Christmas because you're worried about buying gifts, but then you put that on top of like owning a business and paying bonuses and the Christmas party, or if you're slow during the holiday season, like that can contribute to all of the stress. And so, yeah, it's been a wild week for sure.
Well, even your boss, he's a for real millionaire, and he still freaks out come this time of year.
Oh yeah, I hear it from my work husband, my boss at work, and then I hear it from my real husband at home. So it's been stressful for sure. Hearing both of you guys stressed out, and I think the stress is like normal for the season because I mean, I work in a completely different industry and I see it on my side. I just think it's part of it. But
well, we also went to dinner the other weekend, and got our friends that run a propane business. They're like, all right, well, it's finally wintertime, so people are firing up their fireplaces and using their propane heaters. So it's coming into busy season for them. But our other friend that owns a landscaping business, he's like, yeah, it's fucking terrible right now. Like, nobody's doing shit. Like,
yeah.
Do y'all want to pull the trigger on those palm trees for the pool? Because, like,
yeah. And we're like, nope.
Yeah. We're like, nope. See you maybe February, March.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just been a time. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the other day, we have a septic tank and the red light was like buzzing on the septic tank, which is never good. Like if you don't have a septic tank, you probably don't know because I didn't know before. But if the red light buzzes and it does not turn off, that means there's something wrong with the septic tank. But then I went out there again before I left for the morning. I woke up in the morning and it was buzzing, and I just didn't even tell you because at that point
I saw it.
Our lives were like just in ruins. So I was like, I just don't even want to have the conversation. But by the time I had left the house, then it had turned off.
Yeah.
So I just ignored it.
Should be fine.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Oh, and then we got our water well in.
Oh.
So for the past, like, I don't know, almost a year, it seems like we've been paying $1,500 water bills here at our house because our landscaping buddy, that's also a customer of ours, and we're a customer of his, came and laid out this sick ass zoysia grass at our house. We've got a beautiful front lawn that I spent good money on. So yeah, I water it obviously like 3 times a week during the summer so it doesn't die. Well, we're only allotted so many gallons per month or whatever, and once you exceed that, they fine you per gallon, and then they threaten you and this and that. So our water bills have been like $1,500 a month, which is fucking nuts. So finally, I told her, like, I'm over it because I'm not letting the grass die. I see that too many people always do that. They'll sod their whole yard, and then they figure out what it takes to maintain that, and they're like, nah, we'll just let it die, and the stickers come back. So no thank you. We have another customer of ours that owns a water well company. So like, if we've got customers that bring us their vehicles, I'm doing business with those customers when I need something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had them come out, quote me a well. Of course, with our luck, they had to dig like 150 more feet than what they quoted. So the well was like 35 grand all in all. But
so it was like 10,000 more than we are expecting.
Yeah. So that was like a stressful little situation this week. To move some funds around and make that happen. Pull some of my savings and stuff out that I got saved up.
Yeah.
So that's gonna push my McLaren back a couple months, but
so now it's like 2 years, 2 months.
Obviously, I've still got it on the forefront of my mind.
Yeah, he's wearing a McLaren beanie if you're not watching.
Yeah. I still look at him all the time in case I got a good deal.
In case you make it big overnight, which I'm still waiting on him to do. Just hasn't happened yet.
Well, I did just do a photo shoot with my Ultimate, and I'm going to, if there's anybody watching this that can digitize photos, please reach out to me because I'm looking for somebody to digitize a photo of my truck because I've got an idea for a t-shirt I've been wanting to do with our logo and my truck on it. I just need somebody that's good at digitizing. So looking forward to getting that photo set back. So if anybody out there can do that, holler at you, boy. Because again, like, if you help me, I want to help you. Like, I want to do business with you. So
yeah,
it's all about like scratching each other's back in the industry.
Yeah, I think.
Like, get out of the mindset of you've got to compete and start thinking about collaboration, because that's what they always say. Collaboration happens at the top. So
yeah,
your only competition should be yourself, and you should strive to beat yourself at all times. And if you're doing that, you're going to be better and do better. So don't really worry about, no matter what industry you're in, don't worry about what so-and-so's doing or what that shop's doing. I never worry about any of that. I just do my own thing and try to be better than I was yesterday. And every single year, our numbers have been better. So
yeah,
I guess it works.
Well, here's to a better week.
Woo! Toast to that.
We will definitely be more. Well, we've been pretty consistent. I just feel bad that one. What did you do? Did you just spill? You don't know how to drink out of your cup.
God. That was sketchy.
Yeah, you're like having a stroke or something. Oh, I have to go cook Brandon mushrooms for the meatloaf. Long story short, I told him I'm not putting the mushrooms in the meatloaf, but I will make you a side of mushrooms. So now I have to go make him his mushrooms so we can eat dinner.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to go do now.
All right.
What are you going to do?
Watch you make some mushrooms, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. So much work for you.
It's a tough life.
Yeah. Maybe you can like help me with the dogs or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I already fed them dinner, so.
Thanks for listening. If y'all have any topics that you want us to talk about next time, comment. I love all the comments on our YouTube, and
we're gonna take all of our crap to Montana. So.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to shoot an episode there. So.
Ooh, from our chalet. We'll give y'all a tour if y'all watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. But y'all have a good week too, and we will see you next time.
Get out there and crush it.
Thanks for tuning in with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe with us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify and wherever else you stream podcasts. Email us for topics and conversations that you'd like to hear next at info@someonecallbs.com.